And now, for the Musk Minute. Could break its delivery record, but it's going to take an aggressive push from employees. In an email to everybody, Elon Musk put out a call for employees to, quote, go all out in order to set an all-time record in the second quarter. We already have enough vehicle orders to set a record, but the right cars are not yet all in the right locations, Musk said in his note. The CEO previously told shareholders that Tesla's delivery expectations for the second quarter would be around 90,000 to 100,000 vehicles. This is also coming on the same day. There were reports out of Electric that Tesla's head of production has left the company. They joined from Audi a few years back. So certainly always a lot going on in Elon Musk's world.
And let me just ask, I saw that report. Now, I would say I'm not trying to equate every time we've ever covered and say it's all unfair, because there was a time where there was a real exodus of Tesla executives. But I do wonder, once a company gets to a certain point, this happened with Snap and Uber, where it goes through a period where a lot of people are leaving and there's been bad news about the company. So we, I think quite fairly and reasonably, cover it, you know, with great fervor. But now it's like, well, every time anyone leaves Tesla, is it going to be a big story? And is it going to be framed as, oh, bad news? What does this mean?
Yes, it is, because
it might not be a bad indicator.
But it is a bad indicator because the entire C-suite was depleted at one point. And when it's the head of production, it's a different story if it's like VP, deputy, secretary,
HR,
right? Or no, HR is important too.
Well,
or
no,
like some random accounting unit of the company. But when it's literally the bread and butter of the company, which we've seen with a lot of engineering executives, I think it is something that we have to take seriously.
All I mean is eventually everyone leaves the company they work for and they go work at another company. And when it's, when it's a company like Tesla, that it becomes a kind of fervent, and I'm not defending Tesla.
I think some of the executives that I've examined, the tenure has been rather short. So it's not as though it's like, oh yeah, naturally, you've been here for 5 years, time to move on, you're getting poached, whatever. But when you've been there for 7 months or 4 months or less than a year, there is something endemic about that place.
Something's wrong. How positive could it be if it does beat this delivery record? How big would that be, or is it actually, it doesn't change any of the sort of underlying?
I mean, if you look at the last month, the stock's up like $45 a share, basically. I think it's almost $50 a share at this point, from its low after it was down 40% year to date, kind of through the end of May. And so I think, like, in terms of what's built into the stock, I don't know. You know, there's a note out yesterday from a couple of banks that Tesla's probably going to miss that number, but they could still get to the full year number depending on what happens. And I think the question right now is how much did the removal of a lot of those subsidies for buyers of electric cars impact demand, and also how many people want to buy these things? I mean, a lot of people have already there's a lot of Teslas on the road. So do you have marginal buyers for, cars that they're $35,000? They're $65,000 cars at least.
Yeah, there's no $35,000. Come on, that's been a lie. I do see more Teslas all the time, every week, every month.
A lot of them.
More of them on the road.